Hello creators and makers, this is the Random Engineer. Today we're going to continue our series of structural design using SolidWorks. So just like we did last time, we're going to create a new part and we're going to start using our Weldment features. So we go into the Weldments tab and create a sketch. You can create a 3D sketch just from the start, but I'd rather do a 2D sketch for the bottom, just because in my experience sometimes when you try to put some dimensions it seems that it's too complicated for some reason, but this is just a workaround that you can do to prevent that. So I'm just gonna create some lines here because we're building a house or a kennel with structural members. So I'm just gonna drag all these lines and make them equal. Click on tab so I can draw in the x-axis and keep drawing this and that and that. I'm gonna draw in the y-x plane. There you go. Because we're making some kind of house. And just go into the Z plane direction so I know what to do. And since I'm drawing from the middle, I'm gonna drag this along here, say this is vertical, and make this for construction. So what I just did means that this line, the half of this line is equal from the half of the other line. And if you look at from the side, if you draw this, you see how the lines automatically updates. So I'm just going to say this one goes in the Z direction, so they are always in the same height, and just define this line to be 1300 mil. Just to finish this, I'm going to say from there to there. You can define an angle there, or click on or just click on the other line so you can get another angle. So let's just say we want 45 degrees. It's not letting me do anything. Okay. So let's better define this right here. And the angle will always be just a reference. Okay, so we're gonna save that just so we have something to change, and probably I'm gonna drag this along a little bit. But since I already defined everything, I'm gonna make a little change because I really like how this looks. So I'm gonna delete this, click on the two lines, and say I want this height to be, let me try to do it again, from there to there. Okay. Yeah. Let's just define that length as 390. And now what this will allow me to do is change this, and everything will remain sort of the same. And that's what we're gonna have there. So this is our little shape right there. And I'm gonna go into the ISO, and I'm gonna use a C channel, or maybe that's too big. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, that's maybe too big. Angle iron. Yeah, that seems about right. Okay, so that's what we're going to use for our profile. And just as last time we did groups, as you see here, you have an angle that is exactly in the middle. Sorry, in the edge of that angle. So that's what I want to do on all the four sides. So you see what's the orientation there. And if you try to locate profile, you'll get different points here. But as you see, it won't have the same orientation as the other one, which is going to be inside of the house. So I'm going to click on the line back again. And here you can do a mirror profile or a angle rotation. So I'm just going to say 270. There you go. And then you end up with the same profile with a different orientation. So I'm going to create a new group right here and pretty much do the same. I think this one is 180. Yep. Create a new group, rotate this to 90 degrees, and we've got that shape right now. So in the last episode, I showed you that you can do groups, which will allow you to change this right here. But in this case, I want to show you another feature, which is the trim extend feature. So I'm just going to right click in the group and delete it. So that's gonna let us do the profile here. Create the profiles and keep the same sketch. So right now I'm gonna click back on the sketch, create another structural member, and just click on these lines to create a new shape. And as you see, it seems like everything is how you want it to be. Yeah. And you see the corner treatment for this rectangular part is a end mirror, and what the end mirror does is basically just creates a diagonal cut, so all the parts are the same. If you do the corner treatment number 1, it will extend one profile more than the other one, and on the other direction it will do the same. So when you do the extensions in one side or the other, you get this little tab here, sorry, this little button, which will allow you to extend the part until so it follows the shape as the part that is getting aligned to. So as you see here, this is just getting all the way up to the next part, but it's not going to maintain the shape. So if you click on the other side, it's just completely going to fill the shape. And if you click OK, you'll see the difference. So I'm just going to hide these ones by clicking on the cut list and saying, clicking on these two and saying isolate, so you can see the end result. And if I'm going to click on right click here and say isolate again. Sorry, I have to go back to that one. So if I click isolate, you can see how the end shape of the profile is different. So I'm gonna just do the same one with the other option, so you can see the end result, and you see how this one changes. So that's what the end result, that end cupped, yeah, the cuts, how it behaves from one profile to another. So since this is an L angle, it makes sense just to have this because it's easier to weld. And also you can add a weld gap, which is usually 1 inch or, sorry, a quarter of an inch or something like that. which you can put there. So that just leaves a space between them, so the weld it's possible between them. So I just set 1 mil right here, so it is easier for everyone to weld it. And since I did that, that's going to leave up a little weld gap between all the parts, as you see there. So I'm just going to click OK here again, exit the isolation so I can see the whole structure, and keep working from here. So I'm going to 3D sketch back again, and as you see, I can reuse the 3D sketch that we did just before. And I'm going to keep using the same profile. And I'm going to click on here, or maybe not. Maybe I'm just going to use a new C channel in this case. No, that's too big. I'm going to use a square tube. Yeah, why not? Okay, so right now I have that part, but as you see, I don't really like how the profile follows the line a lot and just in the middle. So I'm going to locate the profile again and say I want it in the middle, but in the top part of the profile, and that's why these points are useful for us. And I'm going to create a new group and select these lines. And let's see if it allows us to do these lines as well. Sometimes it lets you do stuff, sometimes it doesn't. So let's just do that for now. And as you see, I'm not too worried about the end result for now. Maybe a little bit. I'm just gonna change this so it looks a little bit better. So I'm the same. I'm gonna locate the profile and say I want it from the middle, but this point right here. And for the group number 3, I'm gonna locate the profile and pretty much do the same. Okay, so now I want to hide the sketch just to have that angle. Sorry, that view of the whole profile there. And I'm gonna start working with the top. So for that, I'm just gonna hide the square tubing and say, oh, sorry, you need to select 1 by 1. Seems like it. And I'm selecting the bodies now and hiding them. Okay, and I'm going to use the trim extend feature. So right here you select the bodies to be trimmed. I want to cut these bodies. And right here you can say the corner type. And I'm going to just choose end butt. Yeah. Oh no, yeah, I'm going to say that one and just select on the same profiles. And as you see, you can allow extension. I'm going to show you what that means in a little bit. So right now, those are the bodies that you want to cut. And down here, you select the boundary. So as you can say up to what part you want these profiles to go. So if you say bodies, you can click on the bodies, and as you see, you get these little tabs right here, which you can select and keep. And you can see the end result of the profile. It's that shape, which you can also do the cupped cut or the simple cut. But it's not a real result, because you wouldn't, I mean, in real life, you wouldn't be able to get that shape right there. And even if you did, it wouldn't be economical just to do it just so it fits perfectly. So for that, it's better just to cut it all the way to that face. So right now I just did the trimming boundary to I just wanted the trimming boundary to be those bodies, but you can select the face or the planes. So if you select the face, unfortunately I don't have a planar face. So before doing that, I'm going to create a plane. So I'm going to create a plane parallel to the top plane, and the reference is going to be this line because I want it parallel. There you go. So finally I have that plane right there. And now that I have that plane, I can trim extend and select the bodies back again and say face plane dot face, and as you see, you get all these bodies already cut. So here you have some choices that you can do. You can keep these bodies. SolidWorks automatically calculates what you want to keep and what you want to and what you want to discard. Thank you, Superman, for subscribing. I really hope that you like this video. You're awesome. So yeah, just going back to the tutorial, and you can also discard here or keep. And if you keep here, that means that you're going to keep that body. And if you click OK, you can have that body as a separate piece. So I'm just going to show you what that is by doing isolate. And as you see, it's just a body that's it's being cut, but that's causing interference for us, so you don't want that really. So that's just what it does whenever you try to keep or discard the bodies. You just have to click on them and it will do that. You will do the opposite, keep or discard, keep or discard. And as you see, the transparency changes, so you know what you're keeping, what you're trying to discard. So right there, we have that end result, which looks way better than what we had before. And just to have a better shape, we're gonna do a weld gap of 1 mil, just like we did on the other side. And it seems like it's doing it on to the other side. So yeah, that's weird. Okay, let's forget about the weld gap for now. Another way of doing it is by just making a cut for yourself. So you can, let's say, draw here and draw a shape, and say these two lines to be collinear, and say dash 1 mil, and say a cut all the way through both, and you'll get that weld gap that you need. But I'm just going to suppress this so it doesn't take it into account for the next times. And yeah, just like I said before, let's just keep working on this. And as we did with the last tutorial videos, I'm gonna just show these sketches right here and say show. And as you see, we are finished with the bottom part. And we're gonna use again our trim extend and say I want to trim these bodies, and I'm not gonna allow an extension, and say I want that one to go up to that face. And as you see, the end result, it's that one. So you can select another face here, which will cut the shape how you want it to. So if you do that, you can see how you can get a real issue if you try to work with a lot of faces and a lot of planes. So it's going to discard everything but the main part, I think. So as you see, you have a lot of tabs here, but it's better if you zoom in so you know what you're keeping and what you're discarding. So let's just say OK to see how it looks. I'm going to isolate this body. Yeah, and it doesn't look that bad. I mean, this cut could probably be done in real life, but you need like a different tool just to cut in angles. So that really depends on your welder. It's really up to you and to see what you can do or what you cannot do, and also your budget, right? That's also a big one. So I'm just gonna exit the isolation because I was using that one, and just say go back, edit the feature, clear the selection, and just select that face to see how we go. And that doesn't look that bad. I guess you could do something like this. Now, let's try it this way just to see how it looks. So I'm going to select the same shade, the same bodies. And as you see, if I just allowed the extension, and it was doing something that we didn't need. So that's just because I did here. So you allow the extension from the trimming boundary and the bodies themselves. So you have to be careful about what you're doing right now. So the best one for me is always this one, because you just select what you want to keep and just select the face that you as a boundary, and you will do the same for all of them. So if I isolate this one, you can see the body itself, and this one doesn't look that bad. So let's try to allow the extension. So as you see, I can allow the extension, and that fixes the problem. So that's what allowing extension does. As you see, you have a cut here, but it's not going all the way through that. It's not going all the way to that plane. So that's how you align the extension. When you allow the extension, you see that end result, and that's how it's looking now. And if we do that for the other faces, let's see how it's looking. It's trying to keep some bodies, and discard this one. Yeah, it's not as good, but you get the point, right? It's just a matter of trying to select the best face and the best option, so you get the desired result. So you could probably weld this and then just grind it off a little bit so it looks perfect, or use another profile. It's just I just chose this profile to show you what the extension was and stuff like that. So I know what we can do actually. As you see, this square profile is trying to go on that way, and we'll find that here. So in the second group, we can rotate this by 90 degrees, let's say. And let's locate the profile back again. Choose another side. No, it doesn't look as good. Maybe I'm gonna look it from the top. Try to work it out so it looks better. No, it doesn't. I wanted to just rotate the profile so that everything worked well here, but it's just not gonna work. And well, just to finish this, I'm gonna probably extend this one, and I say allow extension, say up to the bodies. Now maybe face plane. No, I don't like how it's looking. So another way of doing this is just creating two planes back again. So reference geometry, plane, a front face, and say you can select a point here or just say an offset. Let's say I don't really know how much that offset is, but you can always just go measure from the front plane to that point. And it tells you it's 412, let's say 412. So right now we go reference geometry. Again, our reference is going to be the front plane and say 412. That's one. And we do the same on the other side. To the other side, flip offset. That's it, we have our two planes right here. So just to finish this, we'll trim extend up to face or body, and you can select the two planes right there, and as you see, it's all fitting nicely now. And I'm just gonna hide the planes so it does look better, and you can get and see something like this. So the good thing about SolidWorks is that it gives you the cut list properties. So if this doesn't happen automatically, you can right click here and say update automatically. So it just tells you you have 4 L profiles for those dimensions, 2 L profiles with those dimensions, and that one 2 N profiles for those dimensions. And then if you extend this one, you see that all of them are different. And for example, if you can probably get a cut list here and say I want 4 lengths of this, 2 lengths of that, and 1 length and 2 lengths of this, and just add them up and by your profile, and you'll be sure that everything is going to work out if you make the right cuts and stuff like that. So just to finish this and give it a little bit of strength, maybe not here. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna finish the weld. I'm gonna make a weld path here and say the welding geometry will be that face and that face. And as you see, it welds up everything for you. It selects automatically the profile, and what you have to do here is just say the weld radius. And you can define the symbols later. But I'm gonna do a tutorial about that later because this is a little bit more technical. But what you get is something like that. Let's see if I can show the weld bits. So you get that result right there. So that's how the weld bit works. And also you get a weld annotation, which you can hide from somewhere here. Yeah, somewhere around here. It's one of these. There you go, that one. So yeah, that's one part of our kennel. Yeah, I think it's probably a good idea that I finish it. So next episode, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna finish the Kennel, and I'm gonna give it a little bit more of color and properties, material properties, so we know how much it's gonna weight and stuff like that. So yeah, so I hope you guys liked it. Like I said, this video is gonna be updated into YouTube later with a little bit of editing, and it's gonna look a little bit better. If you feel like you've fallen out of the tutorial series, you can always look them up from the start in YouTube back again. And I hope that you find this information very, very useful. And once I'm finished with the tutorials, I'm planning on doing some other things that are more exciting, and probably just do some products or machines that you can actually build or 3D print and stuff like that. So it'd be good if you follow along until then. So once again, this is the Random Engineer, and I thank you for your time. See you guys next time.